Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I hope is the first of many casts that I do for Warhammer 3. Oh my god, or Mortal Empires, it's here, and we get to play some games. Now, I hopefully have a video uploaded where I talked about some Dark Elf builds I wanted to try out. We've got the first here against Vampire Counts, a little Malice Darkblade action. And this is the build, and this is the build we're against. So I'm not going to spoil the result, but we got Malice, we got the Flame Sorceress, we got Cold One Knights, we got Black Ark Corsairs, we got some Spears in the reserves, we got Hageneth Executioners to deal with Graveguard and such, we got the Canine Assassin to deal with Necromancers, maybe pick off some Mortis Engines with his pretty strong ranged attacks. Although not a lot of armor piercing. What armor does the Mortis Engine have? Pretty low. Yeah, so 720 missile strength, not to be sniffed at. So we got that. We got some Sisters of Slaughter to cut through chaff. We got the Bolt Thrower. I'm really curious just to see how well one does. We got some more chaff. We got some horses as well. And for our opponent, we can see the Crypt Horror is going to be key. We got some zombies, of course we got zombies. Lots of skeletons. We got some Dire Wolves. We got the Dire Pack, which is very good anti-large. We've even brought a Black Coach, some Schwarzhafens, some Blood Knights, and some Chill Guys. So a lot of good mobility there for our opponent, and a solid core infantry mix with the Graveguard. You see a lot of Necromancers. This guy's gone for the Von Carstein Vampire Lord, and we can see he has the Invocation, the Wind of Death, Raise Dead, and of course the Curse of Undeath. Other than that, pretty standard. Does bring Undeath Resurgence, sort of anti-hero as a Charm Shield. Okay, let's get into the battle. Okay, so the map will be Mountains of Morn. This build is something that I designed irregardless of map, so I've brought it just anyway. Perhaps I would bring a slightly altered build if I understood the map meta a little better, if you'll pardon the rhyme. But I'm fairly inexperienced when it comes to understanding Domination mode. This is actually, believe it or not, my very first online match in Domination. And of course, we're coming up against the Meta Lord Vampire Counts themselves, which is one of my favorite factions. So I don't mind that they're strong, if I'm honest. I like them being strong. But we're going to try to beat our head against it, see what we can do. And so I'm really excited to start talking about the match a little bit better, but I don't want to spoil anything. So we've got these sweet Hageneth execution colors for our army, which just makes sure we're going to be looking super fly at all times. You gotta love it. Charging up the front here with 3 spears, we got our Flame Sorcerer and Malice, and on the sides we're looking to maybe tango with some Corsair action. We got our Cold One Knights here. I think one of the first mistakes I made was having my Cold One Knights over here with the Corsairs. I should have maybe only had one unit over there and another sort of dallying over here. So there's going to be a massive force coming out from our opponent. He's going to have the Mortis Engine, of course. We've got Graveguard aplenty, Crypt Horrors, really difficult to deal with. This is very much the style of play to beat. Crypt Horrors supplied by Graveguard and zombies. How do you deal with it? He's summoning some skeletons. We went ahead and summoned our Canine Assassin. I saw that he had the at this point I thought he was on I didn't realize he was on a Hellsteed. I thought he was only on the grounded variant. So I thought that he was going to be easy to chase down. I summoned the Assassin. And actually, even though I think the Assassin was not the summon in this moment, like upon reflection I would have gotten something else, I do think that the Canine Assassin actually is pretty good in this matchup, even in this sort of situation where there isn't a ton going on. Also, I'm very inexperienced playing with Malice Darkblade. I played him in single player a bit, but really limited, and so I definitely could be better with him, all things considered. So we're marching up. I'm trying to keep my formation in a situation where I'm not going to get winded or deathed too much, but I definitely want to stop the horde coming. I think I pause and stop further back for a while, and upon reflection I really should have moved up and tried to hold the line. Now I go ahead and just throw a Wind of Death there. I wanted to see if that would do some damage, maybe come back, hit this unit, maybe the Morris Engine. And it was okay, but I should have waited I should have waited and cast it here so it can bounce around a bit. We've got the spears moving up here. We've got the zombies piling in, the grave guard behind it. It's going to be hard to hold the line in this way. And yeah, we sent Malice over here, and we can see that even though we had a good little bit of action with the Canine Assassin and Malice, very quickly our good friend, the Ron Carstein, just sort of pieced out. He said he didn't want to have anything to do with that. He got in the air, and I thought, damn it. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep firing at him with the Canine Assassin, bring Malice back to the center fight. I've got the Bolt Thrower now, and it's firing down the line at the Mortis Engine. But the Mortis Engine actually is more or less out-healing the damage I'm dealing, which is crazy. We've got this area solidly captured over here. We're basically 2 points up. Almost had that 3rd point captured, but you can see we actually just sort of should have stayed there with our heroes possibly longer. And just got that capture there, so the fact that we didn't is a misplay. But anyway, so we're here, we're trying to just get on the Black Coach. We've got these dire wolves that we're not afraid of, and we've got some Corsairs with crossbows, which I feel is going to do solid work at just picking off the Black Coach, even if it does a little charging around. These 2 units sitting there are kind of useless, and so looking at the situation, seeing that it's, just some dire wolves and the coach, we've got that under control. I send 1 unit that way, and I bring the next handbows forward to try to deal with stuff. Now, Cold War Knights do really well. What I don't realize is that the Dire Pack are just absolutely going to trade super well with the Cold War Knights, so that's unfortunate. Someone, is that another? No. Okay, so I had that Cold War Knight unit back here guarding my Uber Bolt Thrower in case he decided to come forward with the Vampire Lord, summon anything, maybe even get some Dire Wolves over here. But seeing that it's going to be waylaid, I decided to come here and just try to take the point over here. And you can see we're already actually up quite a reasonable amount because, I think we had the capture weight over here early, but now it's just a bit of a shit fight. You can see this Mortis Engine's only lost 2,000 HP since we last saw it, and the Bolt Thrower just not doing enough work. We're trying to use abilities. We've got the Black Ark Corsairs firing on these Cryptoras, and the Cryptoras absolutely beat the brakes off my sorcerers. I wasn't able to keep her safe because all of my infantry just sort of ran away. I ended up summoning some some Hargadeth Executioners here. I was hoping they could cut through some of the Cryptoras and the Graveguard, and they end up doing a really disappointing job. So firstly, we summoned zombies on top of them, which just holds the choke. Unfortunate. Really well done for my opponent. We're also shooting at the Black Coach with Black Ark Corsairs. And then here come the Cryptoras, so my Hargadeth Executioners are going to get crumbs, there's not much I can do. Malice Darkblade, though, with the Canine Assassin, absolutely holding the line. I'm trying to get them to attack the Mortis Engine. The Bolt Thrower, you can see he's chasing my sorcerers off the field here as I get some Bleak Swords forward, and I summon some Spears, and he says, oh yeah, I'm going to get caught up in that, that's no good. So he runs. We're actually shooting him with the Bolt Thrower. But we're doing the group fire now, because the truth is we're trying to just clear some of this mess, get the Graveguard. And yeah, we're doing okay. The Demon's Curse is going to make sure that we stay in the combat for longer. The Mortis Engine is now heading over here because we've got the Black Ark Corsairs shooting the Cryptoras, actually doing some work. But as you can see on point 1, the Chill Geists are just absolutely destroying my Black Ark Corsairs. I bring some Dark Riders forward just to scream for them. There's not much I can do with the dogs. Just absolutely surrounding us. We're just getting overworked. And then over here, you can see he brought in more infantry. I knew I was going to get bogged down and destroyed with my Cold War Knights and Dark Riders, so I pulled them out. Really should be moving them into the center to do some flank charges in the center mass, but I'm just a bit overwhelmed, I'm afraid. Just inexperience really showing its ugly hand, or rearing its ugly head, I should say. Anyway, so this is another mistake I've done, is I'm trying to get value for Malice. I'm like, look, I don't need to transform him because he has so much HP, I can wait. We've got the Sorceress back from routing, and she's going to go ahead and do a juicy burning head there. Not as juicy as I'd hoped, but juicy nonetheless. Yeah, if I was smarter, I would have transformed Malice earlier, because I easily would have cleared this mass much faster. Bolt Thrower doing supreme work. And he's having a hard time getting on it with his current build. He could be more aggressive on the Bolt Thrower than he currently is. We're trying to get our infantry through. He keeps roadblocking us very well, stopping us from getting on the point. The Black Coach is in the mix, but we're trying to get the Bleak Swords over here. We're trying to get infantry on the point to recapture it, but he has so many units there. The mistake I made, I think, was getting the Argoneth Executioners, which are now routing off the field, having done very little. I really, really, really should have gotten the Sisters of Slaughter instead. Sisters of Slaughter could have done so well in so many situations. Yeah, also didn't really have an answer for the Chillgeists, which I'm realizing is unfortunate. These guys sitting idle, that's unfortunate. And now our opponent is starting to take us opening tickets. I can't see the value at the moment. I actually could check the value in the battle. Also, yeah, move these guys around and then just didn't keep up the micro. So just failing on the micro front, not really being able to get anything onto the point. Trying our best. Oh, see, he landed there. That would have been an opportunity to get him with the assassin. The assassin was so bugged down. And boom, now I transform. And I see that I have a bunch of buttons to press, so I press a bunch of buttons, and... where is it? I guess I've already pressed the buttons. Anyway, the point is I've transformed now. Should have done it ages ago. Really big misplay from me. Also, I'm not taking advantage of when this one cast iron is landing with the assassin. I should be sort of keeping the assassin out of combat, just shooting at the Lord. And I wanted to commit him so that he had, like, he was getting value, and he did get a lot of value, but it wasn't worth it. I should have just had him out, shooting at the Lord from the safety, and he's just summoned some Blood Knights, so oi. I try to get the Cold Blood Knights in here, and I'm just really struggling to get them to respect my charge orders into the land. They're not really moving through the terrain super well. And I summoned some Sisters of Slaughter finally. Should have summoned them like 10 years ago, but better late than never. And they tear through the chaff blocking the way so fast, including Graveguard. Just not a contest. Why didn't I summon them sooner? What a mistake. Anyway, completely lost the side points. I haven't even taken center, but you can see there's just the faint whisper of control as I start to wrestle it from my opponent. But yeah, again, just not well enough. Here comes the Black Dragon Egg, and you can see it doesn't do barely anything, really lackluster. I thought it would be a nice little tech choice to have it against blobs of zombies and such, but in reality it's very underwhelming. You know, some Graveguard lingering, we're going to try to cut them through, we've got some more units coming to the center, but it's far too late. We should have taken it at least 2 minutes ago, and we haven't. So here come the Blood Knights. I unsummon and resummon my Reaper Bolt Thrower. The other thing I would mention with this actually is that I tried to unsummon them a little sooner, but I didn't realize I had to detach them from their what do you call this? I guess I had to detach them from the artillery piece itself. Yeah, so unfortunately, at this point, it's looking like I'm just not going to get it back. I'm starting to take over the second point. I've got some Dark Riders capturing this point here, but here come the Skeleton Spears. And in hindsight, what I should have done is charged out and just hit the spear units to stop them from getting on the point, and maybe that could have been a good option. But at this point, it's far too late, so it doesn't matter. You know, I'm accepting defeat sort of at this point. Just hoping to take the center, and hey, I do. I take 2 points. Boom, boom. If only I had control of the third, but again, you know, he's just spread so wide, and he's gotten so many valuable trades. I've summoned the wrong units at the wrong times, and now he's just sort of going nuts. And yeah, there's not much I can do about it. I see the Blood Knights coming in, so I summon some spears here to screen from my bolt throwers who are shooting at the very said knights. And we've got some dogs coming as well. I can't screen from both. The Hellebroni do what they can, and yeah, the Chillgeists as well, and I'm going to send some Dark Riders in there, and he just gets the Direwolves up and around, no problems, very understandable. Blood Knights come in to attack my Dark Riders. You know, we control the center, but he's capturing the left, and the ticks are ticking up. And you can see, with all the Bolt Thrower fire from time to time, the Canine Assassin trying to focus him often, but not often enough because he was in combat. You know, the Vampire Lord does survive, so just several misplays. You can see now that Zarkan is out, it's just so easy for me to take control of the battlefield. So I lose because of inexperience, and that's okay. You know, it's really important to understand what you did and didn't do, to watch these replays and learn. So yeah, we can look at the value. The Sorceress paid for herself, so not terrible. Could have protected her better. K9 Assassin, if we look at him, we can see he actually got an absurd amount of value. He doubled his value, so it did way better than it looked. I think I could have even gotten better value if I had him standing out of combat just focusing the Vampire Lord with the shooting. We can see that while this looks impressive, in reality the Harganeth just got blocked up by zombies and did basically nothing. While conversely, the Sisters of Slaughter actually did pretty good. They didn't quite pay for themselves, costing 1,000 apiece, but if I'd summoned them earlier and more of them, I reckon I could have contained that situation quite well. On the flip side, the Von Carstein Vampire Lord. Decent value, hit in the air most of the time. We can see the extreme value from the Mortis Engine, just wasn't able to take it out quick enough. And the Bolt Thrower, look at that. Only cost 700, managed to get 2 silver chevrons, just huge amounts of value. I actually felt like I needed more of them, if I'm honest. This was just really, really nice. Yeah, look, and if we look at the Dark Riders, I wasn't happy with my play with the Dark Riders. I kind of got a little overwhelmed just because I was focusing on so many things at once, which will get better with time, don't worry about that. But yeah, actually, if we look at the value, we can see they more or less paid for themselves across the board. And same if we look at the chaff, you know, some better than others, but mostly there was some value. Cold One Knights, yeah, just not great in this matchup. I'd hoped that I would be able to screen out cavalry plays with this, maybe even get on some Crypt Horrors, but there's just so many bodies all over the place, and it's so easy for them to just summon, you know, the Dire Pack, or just Dire Wolves generally, maybe even... I think the Chillgeist and the Blood Knights trade very well into Cold One Knights, so Cold One Knights really don't have a place in this matchup. Really should have brought something else, but if we look at our Black Ark Corsairs with handbows, we can see that across the board they more than pay for themselves, some better than others. And yeah, even though they were off on the side, you know, they just held, they got a lot of value. They did pretty well. You can't really summon zombies on top of them and expect the zombies to hold them for very long. I think I should have brought more of them. So, our opponent, real quick, just having a look at some of the value that he got, you know, we could see the Black Coach really was useless, but I mean, I think that wasn't a great choice for him. And yeah, of course, the Grave Guard, you know, not really paying for themselves per se, but the Crypt Horrors, oi oi, so much value from the Crypt Horrors. So, with that in mind, how do we overcome? And I've had to think, and I've got what I consider to be a better build together for this. So here it is. Right, so what have we got? We got way more Black Ark Corsairs. I feel like they're pretty cheap, so magic like Winds of Death, which the enemy did cast, but we didn't get to catch it, unfortunately, in the replay. You know, so if he does, you know, if there's a Pit of Shade, if there's a Wind of Death, you know, these guys, well, you know, we don't hate it that they get nuked by magic, because they're pretty cost effective, all things considered. We bring the one Sisters of Slaughter just to sort of really cut through some of the chaff. Now, we still don't have a solid answer for Crypt Horrors, so that's why we bring Black Ark Corsairs, and I think we want to like nuke the center mass of the vampire counts. You want to clear out as many units as you can, and then go for the late game 3 cap, or, you know, 2 cap, you know, and accelerate. So we still bring the Fire, we still bring Malice, because they were good, we still bring the K9 Assassin, but we've cut the Black Dragon Egg, saying no thank you, it just didn't really pay for itself. At least not that I could see. Good against armor, it says. I don't know about that. Anyway, potentially we could put this in. I mean, like, at the moment we have 200 spare, so that's, like, easy to bring, but I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. Not a huge fan. Excuse me! Ugh. Okay, so what else have we brought? We got 1 spear unit in the front, because we didn't see a lot of cavalry early, and a lot of the things he was bringing, like the Dire Wolves and the Dire Pack, don't actually count as large entities, so I think just 1 spear is fine, just to sort of protect any Bolt Thrower summons we may put forward. We also got the Blackguard in case he brings, I think Blood Knights, you know, Blackguard responded them pretty well. Chill Wraiths, I think Blackguard are doing better against them as well these days. Scourge Runner Chariot for Mortis Engines, for Crypt Horrors, just as another option instead of Bolt Throwers, you know. I don't know how I feel about this. The reason I like Bolt Throwers is because we can just switch it to multiple fire and take out Graveguard with relative impunity. which is nice. We've also got just a few dark shard options, just because they're cheap. It's a nice way to sort of send them forward just to shoot down crypt horrors, to shoot down mortis engines, and they do very solid DPS if they're left untouched. So it's kind of just like a throwaway, like, if you don't deal with this, you'll be in trouble. But given that we have the Scourge Runner chariots and the two bolt throwers, perhaps we should cut these and consider just another chariot, or even just maybe some kind of monster, like maybe a Hydra or something. I think a Hydra could do pretty well. The trouble is, you don't feel good summoning a Hydra for that many points. It's very expensive. And we've already got very expensive units like Blackguard and such. So other than that, just spears for reinforcements, because, you know, spears are just good bodies to hold the line. And yeah, some Dark Riders for the maneuverability. So that's the new version of the build. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I'm going to just roll with it for now and hope for the best. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this battle and my learning curve, and I'll see you in the next one.